G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and today we're doing an audio test on the GoPro Hero 10 to see if the wind reduction affects the quality of the audio as we go out into the wind. So at the moment we're in an ambient cafe. There's no wind coming through, it's quite still, it's a little bit echoey. So the function that the camera comes on is on auto, and we are going to now change it to on side with the wind reduction on. And I'm not sure if it's going to make any difference to the quality of audio. Now with the wind reduction off, and obviously after this video you can choose which setting you think is very best for you and your needs as you go about vlogging, or really if you're going to use this camera for vlogging at all, if it's worth the investment. This is just ambient street noise with not much wind or breeze at all, and no wind distortion or effect or compensation on whatsoever. So camera's about a metre away from my mouth, maybe 80 centimeters. And now put the wind compensation on auto, and you'll see if this improves the quality of the audio or not, as the other conditions are exactly the same. And the street's pretty quiet, so you should be able to hear me quite clearly. Without the engine, and we're on our way to border closure for the Gatta. So the whole state of Queensland has been closed to New South Wales and Victoria, and this is one of the main points that people used to come through, and they've changed. So you may not have heard any of that because the wind was terrible. And this is the wind compensation mode on, so there's an on, off and auto function, and this is with it on. And I think what will happen is my words will become choppier, but will become clearer. That's my hunch on this. And I'll also turn so that the wind is going to smash into the microphone a little bit, so you get a fair representation of the quality of this. But can you even hear me? You shouldn't be able to on a normal microphone, I don't reckon. And then finally, this is on auto. So the auto function is, I guess the camera decides whether it's needed or not. It analyzes the audio coming in, and it might chop and change in and out of it as it gets windier and not, or it might just take an overall reading of the wind and make a call on it. But as you can see, it is a little bit windy. So we made it down to the border. I put it on auto because there's a fair bit of ambient noise with the cars coming past. There's a big heater happening over there. You can see the border behind me. It's been a massive point of controversy in the Queensland government, and we're a bit scared to actually go over this zebra crossing in case we step into New South Wales, but we don't want to do that, do we? No, we're going to stay. In our part of the world. But basically you need a border crossing to pass a whole bunch of identifying papers, and the cars are getting held up here and interviewed. Each car gets interviewed. And so if you live in New South Wales and you work in Queensland, it's really, really difficult. In fact, it's really insanely difficult for you at the moment. And a couple of friends of ours are in that predicament, and it's really tough. But this is the audio. There's a little bit of breeze coming through. There's a little bit of ambient noise. There's a hum and stuff around, and so you will be able to find out. This will be kind of normal outside vlogging conditions for you, just to make a call on whether this works for you or not. And I've been speaking a normal voice, and this is like an arm's length away. These conditions are terrible. You'd never choose to vlog in this because you know you wouldn't be able to be heard. It's on auto, and so it's determining. But I thought I'd get somewhere even windier than we were previously for you to have a feel about where we are. If I turn this way, again the wind's kind of coming behind me and hitting the camera, so what's the quality on that like? Now the wind is firing up. I'm going to go to one more place. The wind is insane. This is an auto wind reduction, and it's not quite 100 miles, but we're losing our hats and getting blown over. The wind is smashing us. I'm just going to turn around a little bit so you can get a full feel for the different angles of the camera.
And I can barely stand, it's that strong!
And now we're inside a shopping centre, so there's not much echo, and you should be able to hear me quite clearly. Again, just to give you a bit of a feel for what different conditions do to the audio in here. I almost feel like there's a little bit of echo, not a heap though. It feels like my words are getting getting sucked up as they go to the microphone. Quite strange.
And I can barely stand, it's that strong!
And now we're inside a shopping centre, so there's not much echo, and you should be able to hear me quite clearly. Again, just to give you a bit of a feel for what different conditions do to the audio in here. I almost feel like there's a little bit of echo, not a heap though. It feels like my words are getting sucked up as they go to the microphone. Quite strange. Okay, now I've decided to find the noisiest place in Coolangatta, which is the point that looks behind me to Snapper, and then this way to the city. And there's a bit of a breeze up here, and this is an auto wind reduction. And now it's going to turn on the wind reduction. There we go, so that's it with it on. And again, look both ways, so the wind captures in the microphone. And now let's turn it all off. And that's turned off completely, and I've managed to put my elbow in a big puddle of water. Yes, the joys of vlogging. So it's now an auto wind reduction, and I've chosen the most echoey place I can find, and this is super echoey. We're shooting at 24 frames at 4K a second, and this is with the wind reduction on, and I have no idea if it's going to make any difference to the audio, but I thought for a full and comprehensive review that I should do it with all options, and so this is with the wind reduction off as I walk the same corridor in these echoey conditions. Alright guys, now we're back in the ambience of a cafe. This is the Flying Elephant Cafe in Coolangatta, which does a really good cup of coffee if you're ever down this way. And thanks to those of you that have shouted me a coffee. Thinking of you now, really appreciate it. And if you'd like to do so, you can do so in the description below. Also, if you want to join the channel, you can do that down below. So you've seen a variety of different audio options, and this is currently on auto noise reduction. So you can choose which one's best for you, and if these are up to the standard, what happens is the GoPro processes audio for that final video, and so there's an option to turn on raw audio and have it a little, a medium, or a lot processed or unprocessed. So it gives you two files. It gives you a final file of video and audio connected, and then it gives you another file of raw audio which is unprocessed, which means you can then process it how you want to process it if that's really important for you, but it won't process in or out the wind. The raw audio will be exactly what the camera picks up as it's happening. So thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, I would love that. Give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.